Out of Left Field is brought to you in part by Coordinated Health, Hazelton Campus.
Thanks for coming out of the dugout for another episode of Out of Left Field, the show that takes a different look at local sports. We have a tea time in just a few moments with MMI senior Jessica McClellan. She recently made another trip out to the PIAA Championships. Okay, the hole is clear and we're ready for our round of mini golf with McClellan. What have you learned from her, if anything? Do you learn from your athletes sometimes and be like, all right, I mean, can you take a swing tip or two, or like?
No, because if you ever saw him, my golf swing's closer to Charles Barkley's than it is to hers. So I think the biggest thing I've learned from her is just about watching somebody who's as passionate about the game as she is, and just what that passion can drive you to do. You know, and it just reinforces it. You know, you try and tell that to your kids that you coach, and hopefully I teach that to my daughter someday. But if you set your mind to something, you can accomplish it.
Here at Sleepy Hollow Golf Center, and we're getting ready for a round of mini golf with MMI senior Jessica McClellan, also now District 2 AA champion. Actually had the lowest round, AA, AAA, so congratulations on that. Well, we're looking at the first hole here. Well, how would you approach this hole here? It's a par 2. You can either go into the tube there or around toward the rock. I want to go first, but I want your suggestion about how you think I should handle this.
See, for open house at MMI one year, I did my open house priors on the angles in mini golf. So I would definitely go on the left side of the rock, hit the wall, and go down to the hole.
Let's talk about that before I do that. You did a project on angles in mini golf. So is that what you're seeing right now? Are you seeing angles?
Yeah, you have to look at the angles on the walls to make the ball get the closest to the hole you can, because they put the pipes there, but the chance that you're going to make it in that pipe, very slim.
So don't go to the pipes, play the angles. There's your pro tip for the day. I'm gonna tee off here and try to hit the rock. I think I did a bad job with the angle. Yeah, I want to go around the other way. Jess, do you know how mad I would have been if you would have went right for the pipe and you're like, oh man, I can't believe he fell for that one. How much do you feel pressure anymore, and how much do you just enjoy playing at this point? Is it about, I mean, I'm sure there's anxiety with every round, but do you go out there and just truly enjoy it now, or are you at that level?
Yeah, I just love playing golf. It's one of those things where I look forward to playing golf.
That came off the back of the club. That was terrible. But okay, that's mini golf. Sometimes you end up right near the hole there.
Yeah, but it's like I just have a new mindset kind of this season to take it one shot at a time. We learned that last year out at regionals, that you can have 1 or 2 bad holes, but just go to the next hole and make a par. One shot at a time. Just focus on that shot, what you need to do to get it to the hole. So
that seems like something though you should like I would say that now. Is there a difference between realizing that and actually applying it and learning it?
I mean, I've known that for a while, but until you actually get into a situation where you find out that's the truth, and that was kind of the difference maker between maybe a medal and a 10th place finish, then it kind of sets in and it's like, okay, I see what coach or my dad's talking about. I should probably do that right now. So that's kind of my goal this season.
But was it your dad who got you into the game?
It was kind of my whole family, actually. So my dad, my mom's dad, my 2 uncles on my mom's side all play golf. So I was the only child in the family. So for my 3rd Christmas, got a miniature golf cart with, instead of like a Jeep or something, I got clubs strapped on the back, and I was driving that thing everywhere.
So you say miniature golf cart, was it like a Power Wheels kind of thing? Like I had a little fire truck when I was little, but you had a golf cart.
Yeah, so it was kind of like, how they make those Barbie Jeeps and like Camaros? It was that, but a golf cart.
Nice.
And then I got my own clubs on the back, so it's like I would go behind my house and in between my house and my grandparents and ride in between, make up golf holes, and just hit the ball, try to
So you say make up holes, were you digging holes in the yard, or was it just like I gotta get it to here?
I was leaving some big divots in the yard.
How did the family take that?
My dad wasn't too happy, but now we just plant grass in all my divots.
Oh, so you're still hitting back there?
Yeah.
Do you still have the cart?
No.
No? That's long gone.
So when I was little, I was in the United States Golf Little League, USGLL, around here. It's like I was kind of dominating with a couple groups.
Like that girl has her own cart at home.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's like I was kind of dominating the competition here. So then we formed this all-star team, and we traveled to California in like 2010. And we played against kids from California, Texas, and New York. They dominated us. Like, we couldn't compare to them. So that kind of showed me the competition in other areas. So then that kind of I think it kind of made me want to play golf and to get better, because that was my first time I actually saw other kids who could shoot 5 over par at age 12. So, yeah.
Was getting, I always hear this from athletes, you know, you learn more than when you lose than win sometimes. Would you say that's true? Like the first time you saw that and you were like, whoa, it was a good experience.
It was impressive to just sit there and watch them play. It's like I play in all these other tournaments that girls are obviously like better than I am, and that kind of pushes me to get better too. So it's like I like seeing the level of competition in different areas.
We already referenced Happy Gilmore once, and I said in that movie he goes to his happy place often when he needs to make a big shot. What would your happy place consist of? I said mine would have a Thanksgiving buffet, Jason Mraz music would be playing all the time. What would be in your happy place? What are some things that make you happy?
There would definitely be some ice cream with some crunch coat on it, which is like from Woods in Freeland and Whitehaven. It's like this sprinkle and peanut mix topping. Definitely on a beach somewhere really warm. Week's a different game.
Oh, lucky.
See,
better
that
to be
was
lucky than.
Oh, that's not lucky.
Oh, what is that?
It's right there.
I thought it actually went in the hole and I got all excited. That wasn't it.
I love movies.
So what's your favorite movie?
All the time. All-time favorite movie would be RV.
Are you with Robin Williams?
Yeah.
No, why?
Yeah. I don't know, I love that movie.
Okay. That also had the girl who sang that song when I was in high school in it. Hang on, I'll remember what it is. Do you know her name?
No.
Hang on, I'm gonna figure it out. Coach Ryan Jastrzemski looked up for us that it was JoJo in that movie who sang "Get Out."
Yeah.
Get out right now. Is this distracting of you and me? It's too late and I can't wait. See, look at that, it worked. Just some JoJo. You're gonna be like, I never want to hear that song again. What's your favorite? Do you have favorite song? Do you have music you listen to before golfing?
Yeah, Fall Out Boy.
Really?
Yep.
Get you like amped up or?
Yep.
So you want to be
Fall
pumped
Out
up.
Boy.
You don't want to be like calm going into a match.
I like to listen to music that's gonna get me pumped up and excited to play and excited to kick some butt.
Oh, look at that recovery. How do you calm yourself down?
It's more important to just walk up to the next hole. It's a new hole. It's a whole new chance to make a score. Because I don't know, it's just a whole new chance to start over. So, I mean, that's really important. Especially at regionals last year, I took a 10 on a par 4. I think I hit like 2 balls out of bounds. Then it's like the next hole, you just gotta shake it off. And ultimately, like, I got the States by a stroke. I was in a playoff for the last spot. So it's like, you never know what's gonna happen at the end of the day, because I thought my chances were over.
Coming up next, the local doctor clears things up about concussions.
Out of Left Field is brought to you in part by Coordinated Health Hazleton Campus.
Welcome back, and thank you for coming back to Left Field. Concussions have become a big concern for athletes of all ages. Luckily, there's doctors like Dr. Richard Canlas who can help them tackle any issues they might have.
There's a hit. You go down. You get up and your head feels foggy. You're dizzy, and boom, you have a headache. The next thing you know, there's someone asking you questions on the sideline.
What we use and what I've been trained in and certified in is IMPACT. IMPACT stands for Immediate Post-Concussion Cognitive Testing. And so basically it's looking at the injury to the brain and tracking the recovery. It's made of 6 modules or 6 tests. You get 4 composite scores. You're going to look at visual memory, verbal memory, processing speed, and reaction time. And those scores you compare to the baseline and then the post-injury, and you can see, are they staying the same, are they worsening, or are they recovering? And that helps get the athlete back safely.
With sports, there's risks. Athletes know there's a chance they could get a concussion. Just like getting ready for a big game, the best way to confront a concussion is with knowledge. We don't have game film for you, but we do have Dr. Richard Canlas from the Lehigh Valley Health Network.
Yeah, anytime there's a head injury, be it on the field, on the ice, on the court, we look at both the head and neck, because sometimes it can be one, sometimes it can be the other, sometimes it can be together. And our biggest thing is to find out, I tell people, when you have an injury like that, one of two things happens. Either you have a structural problem where there's damage, a fracture, brain bleed, or you have a functional problem, which is a concussion. There's no structural damage, it's just function. The way I describe to my parents and athletes, think of a concussion when you shake up a snow globe. Prior to that, everything's nice and settled. When you either have a violent hit to the head or a rotation, shear force of the head, you shake that neurometabolic system up and everything's kind of discombobulated. And what happens, the second image I give them is think of a teeter-totter. What happens is the blood flow goes down, but the energy requirement to run the brain, specifically glucose, goes up. So you have this mismatch. And if you continue to partake in physical or mental activities, that can actually cause further cellular dysfunction or a catastrophic injury known as second impact syndrome.
Dr. Canlas says concussion symptoms include dizziness and headaches, and that coaches, teammates, and parents should be on the lookout for changes in an athlete's behavior.
The parents usually are the most able to delineate, is their child acting normal or not. When I see an athlete, I always rely on the athletic trainer, because sometimes you can't read an individual. The parents knows, like Jimmy or Susie aren't acting normal. She's more irritable, because the symptom checklists we have are pretty non-specific: headache, irritability, etc. I mean, irritability in a teenager, that can be normal, but the parent may say, the irritability is different. This person's, lashing out at me, so that's where you gotta try to find, are these typical symptoms or are they, different symptoms? Because some people with a headache, they may have a history of migraine. Now that's a different thing, because now you gotta wonder, okay, is this headache gonna linger because of the predisposing factor?
Once a concussion is diagnosed, it's important to give the brain enough time to heal.
That's where the youth were more concerned about the concussions. The brain is still developing up to around the age of 23, so that's where we're susceptible, and that's where a lot of the athletes get frustrated, because if you just take a triplet scenario, you can have 3 individuals have the same type of head injury and come back differently. One may come back in 1 to 3 days, one may come back in 1 to 3 weeks, another might take months, and it's like, why is it? It's because the brain is developing at various stages, and so that's where the wide swings of recovery, whereas most adults above the age of 23 are going to recover within pretty similar pattern versus the younger individual. So that's the biggest thing, is the brain is still developing, and that's what you want to prevent, is the long-term complications or learning disorders or disabilities. And that's what they're starting to find out in some of the studies, not definitive, but some of the studies that have been with individuals that had concussions are showing some potential behavioral problems and that sort.
Dr. Canlas says repetitive head injuries lead to an increased risk of CTE.
Basically, CTE stands for chronic traumatic encephalopathy. So it's basically a disorder of the brain, and it has certain findings regarding the neurons and what have you that we see in some of the degenerative processes of individuals with Parkinson's or Alzheimer's. And that's what they're finding with the blood studies and what have you. So that's why it's important that these athletes, young and old, don't blow it off if they get a head injury, that you have to report it, because the easy thing is when you're young, you don't have the effects of it. You're going to pay the price potentially down the line. Now, some people are willing to, risk that. I mean, if you blow your ACL out or you fracture an ankle, most people are going to I'm going to the ER, I got to go get this checked out. The brain is no different. The problem, like I said, is ACL or, a fracture you see on the sideline, if a bone's sticking out, you got a problem. It's visual, you see it. The concussion, you don't have that.
While concussions can't be prevented, there are ways to combat them.
Are they safer now?
I think they're safer in the sense that the equipment's better. Number two, a lot of rules have been changed, like the elimination of spearing and that type of thing. And then with the training now, a lot of times with the head and neck, if you develop the surrounding musculature, you can actually lower the risk of a concussion. The big thing to take away is that you cannot prevent a concussion, but you can lower the risk with using the appropriate equipment, doing appropriate training to strengthen the surrounding neck and head muscles, and following the rules.
In our final segment, we'll reminisce with some Hazleton Area High School softball alumni at a charity event.
Out of Left Field is brought to you in part by Coordinated Health Hazleton Campus.
The Lady Cougar Charity Alumni softball game provides some impressive plays, some important funds for the current Hazleton Area High School program, and some laughs.
There's no clock in softball, so it's probably easy to lose track of time when you're playing the game. They do say time flies when you're having fun. One moment you're getting your hair ready for the playoffs.
One of the big things, it was called Dag's Dolls, right? So we all braided our hair in support for our state, our district playoffs, and just that community, that family feeling, we all had the same braids in our hair. That to me was one of the best moments that we had as we were going as part of a team.
The next moment you're helping put together an alumni softball game.
And actually some of us don't even live in the area anymore, and we actually come back to support the team because this is what gave us our foundation. It made us who we are, it gave us our values. Like I said, the family aspect of it, it's a close-knit group, and we really do want to make sure that we bring back and give to that.
It's been 20 years since Amber Joseph represented Coach John D'Agostino in the Hazleton Area High School, but she hasn't lost her love of the game or the program. The alumni game is a fundraiser for the Lady Cougars Softball Booster Club to help ensure another generation of Lady Cougars have the time of their lives on the softball field.
And there's a lot of things that go into it too. I mean, you got to practice off season, there's winter practices, and to try to practice outside with an outdoor sport, you can't really do that. So you have to have funding for inside practices. You have to have funding. Some of the money goes to scholarships for the girls. It goes towards funding for t-shirts throughout the year. Even jackets, like Letterman jackets and stuff like that. So that's some of the stuff that it goes towards.
As everyone is catching up before the alumni game, one of the parents comes over to me and starts pointing at the players and sharing some facts. I took her to every game. That one is a teacher now. That one used to love eating ketchup. Things like that. It becomes obvious that this is an extended family. Joanne Swank's 3 daughters all played softball for Hazleton Area, and she says she had the time of her life watching them play.
I can't believe it. I come here and I feel like these girls are all my kids too because you get so close to all of them.
2 of Swank's daughters are at the game on this day.
I don't know if they're going to play really today. They say their backs, their legs, their ankles. So they've played some rec stuff during the years, but to me they'll always be the same. Always.
Swank used to record all of her kids' games on VHS. During this game, she continuously records moments on her phone. So not much has changed, but in other ways it really has. All around the field, members of another generation look on with interest. While kids are cheering on their moms in 2018 off the field, inside the fence, time seems to be moving backwards. The banter and some of the play makes it seem like the players are still in high school. The alumni team talks one of their former coaches into working the pitching machine in the circle. Jason Turry coached in the Lady Cougars program for 11 years.
As you're out there and you're working in the circle, do you look around and think for as much as things have changed, like you look at someone in the banter and everything and think, all right, yeah, this is almost the same as when they were 18?
Oh, absolutely. They're still coming up and swinging at the same pitches that got them out 10, 15 years ago, and still know where their weak spots are. But yeah, and there's still the same great enjoyment, I think, is key. And all of them, I think that was the big thing, how much they just enjoyed the game, their love of the game, and that just exudes.
There are no innings in this game. The players just rotate around the field, to the dugout, and then to the plate. It's like softball heaven, or Field of Dreams. There's a timeless joy to this game.
The memories, the friendships, seeing the friendships that they still share, being in touch with them, seeing them grow, being at their weddings and seeing their children here, and working with some of them now. It's just great to see that those bonds they still share and the relationships that they have formed. I think those are the memories that most of us share. And there's lots of good memories, obviously, in the field. We've had so many championships, but I think the memories that all these girls have are the friendships that they shared, the bus rides and all the different events, and those are the things that they still mention today.
Amanda Capis's visor fits in with this timeless theme. The visor dates back to at least 2004 and looks pretty beat up. Time probably has something to do with its condition, but you also have to factor in how Capis plays the game. After watching her play in the alumni game, there's a good chance the visor looked just as beat up 14 years ago.
When do you wear it? Like, will you wear it out or only on
this
for
came out of the bin in the basement.
Like, you'll keep it forever?
Prized possessions. Oh yeah, for sure.
Why so prized? And what did you cherish about your time at Hazleton area on the softball?
It was just the best time of my life. I put in blood, sweat, and tears into this game for 6 years, and being a part of the program was just such a special time for us. I made some of my best friends there, and a lot of us still keep in touch to this day. And there's just so many memories that, like, outside of the field, on and off the field, it was just such a great time in our lives. And I think you could see that by the support that comes out when we get together every year. Hopefully, and we continue to do this.
The Hazleton Area High School softball program has produced many championships, and even more friendships. Family, fun, and fantastic softball seem to go hand in hand.
I think that's what built it from the beginning. I think was the family, the softball family we have, and the pride they took in the program from the junior high level on up, and into the community and the rec leagues as well, and it just grew from there, and it was just. And it still is, and those take pride in their work, and that work has gotten them great things, so many championships and great memories. It's been a great program.
Good game, everyone. Great effort out there today. There is still some game film I'd like you to watch at ssptv.com. Check out past episodes of this show and many other informative and fun local shows there. Until next time, take it easy.